You were held. You were fed. You were sung to sleep by a voice you knew better than your own name, and you remember none of it. That should feel strange, yet it rarely does. Why would your brain erase the very years that shaped who you became? The real answer is far stranger than you were too young to remember. Sigmund Freud called this gap infantile amnesia. He believed the memories were repressed, hidden away because they were too dangerous to keep. Modern science tells a different story. Those memories were never lost. They were never fully built in the first place. A memory isn't a video sitting in a drawer in your skull. It's a network, stitched together in the hippocampus, then slowly woven into long-term storage. That stitching takes a mature nervous system. Your infant brain didn't have one yet. Psychologist Patricia Bauer has shown that toddlers can absolutely form memories. 2- and 3-year-olds recall events days or weeks later. But the circuitry needed to hold on to memories for a lifetime is still under construction. Can you blame a system for losing files it was never built to store? Here's where it gets stranger. Even a working memory system faced sabotage. Neuroscientist Paul Franklin studies neurogenesis, the birth of new neurons in the hippocampus. In early childhood, new neurons arrived at an extraordinary rate. That sounds helpful. It wasn't. Franklin's research suggests this flood of new neurons destabilized existing circuits, overwriting memories filed nearby. Picture a filing cabinet being renovated while the files are still inside it. Adults grow new neurons too, just slowly enough that memories survive. In early childhood, the renovation never stopped. You weren't incapable of remembering. You were constantly remembering. You just couldn't keep it. There's one more piece: language. Psychologist Carol Peterson has studied how children talk about their pasts. A 3-year-old can recall an event from a year earlier. Ask the same child 5 years later, and it's gone. What changed? Peterson's research points to narrative. Once a child can describe an event in words, in order, with feeling, it's far more likely to survive into adulthood. Memories that happened before language had no story to hold on to. Is it any wonder they slipped away? This is why your earliest memories cluster around age 3 or 4. Because nothing happened before then. Because that's roughly when mature circuitry, slowing neurogenesis and language finally arrived together. Before that, you were fully conscious. Fully feeling. You just weren't yet a narrator. Here's the part that should unsettle you. Not remembering doesn't mean nothing was recorded. Researchers studying attachment argue that the emotional patterns formed in infancy, such as how safe you felt and how your needs were met, can shape behavior for a lifetime. You don't remember the moments that built your trust or your fear of being left. But your nervous system was there. It was paying attention long before your hippocampus could file any of it as a story you could later tell. The years you can't remember may still be running quietly in the background of every relationship you've ever had. There's a strange comfort in that, if you look for it. A perfect archive of infancy would bury you under an impossible weight. Every nap, every ordinary Tuesday, sitting in your mind with the clarity of yesterday. Instead, your brain lets the earliest, least distinct experiences dissolve and saves its filing system for what was complex enough and language rich enough to be worth keeping. Some researchers now think infantile amnesia isn't a flaw. It may be a trade, memory sacrificed for a brain flexible enough to grow at the fastest, most important pace it will ever grow. You paid for your intelligence with your earliest memories. That is the price of being human. So next time a baby photo of yourself gives you nothing, no flicker, no recognition, don't mistake it for a gap in who you are. That baby was there, learning who to trust, learning what love felt like when it arrived on time. None of it made it into words. None of it made it into a story. But underneath every story you can tell about yourself now, that baby is still the one who wrote the first draft. You were held. You were fed. You were sung to sleep by a voice you knew better than your own name. And even though you remember none of it, it never stopped being yours.